This is for my folks who speak multiple languages. Even if you grew up in a household that only spoke one language, because of modern times and just industrialization, current structural factors, labor practices, and etc., health disparities, and etc., there is a particular manifestation, shall we call it, of the tango of language. There's things like that. So you have to remember, as English is the standard English as a mainframe or as a tool of the oppressor, you have to understand that it is for the oppressed a space of love. Okay. So anytime you even try to talk to someone from a experience of health disparity, you have to understand that they are receiving the information through a lens of. Okay, that's all you really need to the blank part, in the lens of blank, that you can fill that in later, of course. But the point being that you understand that, because even in one tradition, one faith, you will still, again, this lesson is all about biodiversity, okay? Environmentalism, Darwinism, the founding principles of our society, okay? Socrates in the building. Okay, you have to understand the point of a Socratic seminar. I used to teach classes even on the structure of what a seminar even is supposed to be about. Hashtag Papoose in the building. Okay, there is a certain lyracy, a certain plague, a certain particularity to English when speaking from a culture of health disparity. You have to understand that there is always going to be a particularity of having a continuous thread, okay? And that thread has to be something that can be seen as intentionally a space of love. Now, you have to understand, if you can't love, if you're a person, again, health disparities, if you're not able to love, we understand your capacity to intend. So even if you can't love, there is a capacity to empathize even with other people, even if you can't empathize with yourself. Okay? So that is the tool I give folks or express around folks, just because I feel as though there is a particular narrative I'm noticing or observing with linguistics. Even in one particularity, even in one household, and then in certain spots, in Nigeria, they call it mother's tongue, father's tongue. Okay? Shout out folks of Yemayan who have to deal with folks who speak their father's tongue. That shit is so fucking annoying. Okay? Just because you're naturally able to nurture, doesn't mean they can use that shit as warfare. And anybody who speaks, anybody who's in Yemayan knows what I'm talking about. Anybody who's in the tradition knows exactly what I'm talking about, especially if they've worked with Yemayan primordially. Okay, which you should be working with. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So it's a whole thing. You do not work with Obatala once you are in the tradition. Or if you know about Orisha, you do not work with Obatala. I don't know why y'all keep working with his ass. That's why y'all fucked up now, not initiated. No, you're supposed to work through the other one, okay? And all warfare, women and children do not go along with warfare. Anybody dealing with women and children in warfare, that shows you what kind of person they are. Okay, that shows you what tactics they're willing to use. Okay, so you have to remember that. Women and children, just as a war god, just as a war principle, is not a part of it in any tradition universally in this multiverse. Okay, so every person talks about that. Napoleon knew that as a thing. He said, look, case study, fucking up the women and children gonna get my ass fucked up. Napoleon. Okay? Greatest conqueror this world's ever seen. We'll ever see. So y'all have to understand. Touching the women and children, the governments don't have to respond because it shows, it speaks for itself. It really does. So anybody who's religious or even remotely spiritual these days can tell you that. So, oh yeah, I know, hell no. They'll tell you that, for real. Universal laws. You can Google the shit. So, obviously, these motherfuckers don't have Google. But y'all on my channel, so we're going to use Google, honey. But anyway, back to the point. So, the moral of the story is father's tongue versus your mother's tongue. Okay? You in your mother's household and the tradition they have, they spoke a particular language, and your mother in particular learned a particular language to actually communicate in that community. Thus, we born that to be your mother's tongue. Traditionally, however, it is seen as a little different. That's more in the tradition. Traditionally, though, it is seen as whatever your mother's tribe spoke. So there is also that in terms of anthropology, just across the world, but in particular parts of West Africa and Nigeria. Okay, come on, y'all. So y'all have to understand. Okay, come on, my Evo. Damn, y'all about to finish shut us out. Don't have me beat your ass. Okay, bitch. What's up, Evo bitches? Ian Evo bitches. Okay, what's up? Hey, no, okay. But yeah, so yeah, you have to understand, like, okay. You have to understand, darling. This is all new for me, okay? Anyway. So yeah, you just have to get into it, you know what I mean? And there's a particularity to all of this stuff. You know, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, you know, Jewish, you know, working with Arabic, working with Yiddish, working with Celtic, working with English, working with Geechee, you know, working with Southern mentalities, working with continental mentalities. You have to remember all those studies when you're doing stuff like this. Environmentalists, holistic healers, they'll tell you. There's always another layer to the story that you can, you know, use as informational and as educational at best. I always say that. So, you know, also, like, if you are some folks who have been affected by war, industrialization, or whatever, and you have, oh, my father was in the military and my mom wasn't, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, all these children are, like, you know, born on military bases and stuff like that. Well, if that is a particularity, then that should be pretty... You know, they always have had reports of socialization, but I, you know, as a clinical social worker, or somebody trained to be more accredited in that field, you have to understand that there is definitely a understanding to having a mother's tongue. We'll just start with that. Okay? Learning both tongues is something that was just as being Igbo. You had to do. Okay? You had to learn both tongues. Okay? And there was an agreement that when you're with your father, you speak the father's tongue. And with your mother, you speak the mother's tongue. We actually went down the list and made agreements before setting all of this up. Okay? I also was raised in two-parent house, two different. They did not in the same household. Okay, so I don't know. I don't have any experiences with that. Okay, I cannot help you out with that. Living under a roof with somebody like that, especially a male, or, oh, hell no. I have no experience with that. So, I'm just letting you know. I don't have no experience with that. So, you have to understand that, like, there is a particularity. Usually even, like, well, in my tradition, I never spoke my father's tongue. Oh, I can't even say it out loud. Like, oh, it just makes me feel so uncomfortable. Like, but yeah, no. Especially if you're in your mama's house. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that. That's disrespectful as fuck. You cannot. That's disrespectful as fuck. And you have to understand, just like what if a person in war has to fear women and children, has to fear women and children, or there will be universal implications of that. What the fuck you think finna happen to your dumb ass being in your mama's house? Come on, somebody. So, I gotta go, y'all. This is new. Ooh, bitch. Oh my gosh, I feel so pretty, but I gotta go work. But just yeah, I don't have experience when there actually are two of the same parents in the household, and you have to negotiate between. No, oh, hell no. Oh, hell to the no. I had a very pretty upbringing. Thank you. It was not like that at all. So, or very structured. I had a very cool. Okay, I had a very cool. Thank you. I had a very cool upbringing. Okay, very contractual, very lax, very law abiding for the most part, except for them damn to that child support check. Oh, damn it, that damn child support check. Bitch was okay, bitch. It's my fault. It's my fault because I'm a bitch and I did not get a job when my mom told me to get a job. Bitch, I did extracurriculars. I had mental health things going on. Now I understand working a job is for your mental health. So there's that. Boop, little bell there, dropped for you all. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna go now, but yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, I can't really relate to that experience. So that's why when I work with y'all, I have to tell y'all, I can't, when y'all only work with that shit, it blows my mind. It blows okay, I'll just say it. Working only, when y'all uninitiates only work with Obatala's ass, it blows my fucking mind. It blows my fucking mind. Because it's like, literally, why are you even using his tongue? Like, literally, girl. Like, everybody has access to him. Like, everybody has access to that information. You can Google the stuff, girl, okay? Everybody has access to the information. And, yeah, okay, fine. How would you have known to Google that? Well, reading programs. If you don't actually know how to use a search engine, then that would be a certain starting part for me. And that's Celtic. For all you motherfuckers who want to use y'all father's tongue and don't know that you actually speaking his mother's tongue, which is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. How you gonna use your father's mother's tongue against your mother? Obviously, she would know that's not the right tongue that you're using. Y'all think, oh, my mama hate me. No, you just using the wrong damn language. Y'all have to make it make sense, okay? You have to translate it. You can't just absorb it for face value. You have to take what resonates and leave the rest. Come on, somebody. Watch some YouTube. No, this is Arisha approved. Bring that little ass over here. Nope, this bitch tried it. They encourage y'all to use the Googler because y'all dumbasses have all this anxiety. I hate to say that like that, but all this anxiety. I don't like that word. Anxiety, toxic. They're just like words you just say, and everybody says those words like LGBT, girl, it just gets, you hear those words, those key words you just hear every damn in English. Those one of those words. As a clinician, as a psychological person, as a person in the American Psychological Association, that word for me is just like, but it's okay because I'm inclusive, and I want to be approachable, which is something I'm working on. Okay, so it's about hell no. But yeah, no, hell no. You cannot, when you are working with your father or the father's energy, First, I don't even like doing this inside the house, but I can because of the particularity here. But I can definitely do it because of the particularity. So, um, let's say if you have two trans parents, um, two non-conforming parents, then you have to remember, as a body with body parts that hang on the outside, you have to keep them bitches warm. Does that make sense? Because you don't if you have, all right, I'll say, if you have balls on the outside, you got to keep them bitches warm yourself. I'm just gonna say that. Now, if you got balls on the inside, them bitches come with AC. Them bitches come with heating. You might have to provide a fan or two or some AC, but she comes with installation, honey. Yeah, he comes with installation, honey. Yeah, he comes with installation, honey. We're gonna use that one. Okay. Now, if you so happen to have gotten cooled in your mother's womb at some point, girl, or if you gotten you got actually a little too warm in your mother's womb, and those little balls dropped outside of out of the body, it's on you to keep them bitches warm. Okay, because you got the person carrying that motherfucker too hot, and so in order to keep both you bitches alive, them little motherfuckers have to go poop and release all that heat. Okay, so if you have the balls on the outside, okay, you got to be careful. Now, let's say you got some chronic illnesses, you got some health disparities in your balls on the outside. Well, if you go through depression, if you go through watery experiences, if you like deep diving, you're gonna have to clean them sinuses if you like to work in dirty jobs, you're gonna clean them sinuses. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So I just wanted to say that out loud. You have to understand that it's okay. But let's say you do got the motherfuckers on the inside, and them bitches get pusky. Well, them bitches get some yeast on them bitches. Okay. Well, now we doing gender switch, basically, because you have to remember, the candida or the yeast ain't doing nothing down there but snipping it, one build up at a time. Okay, one deposit at a time, honey. Okay. So you have to understand that even as, and I'm a surgeon, so I can help y'all with that, because this is something that the medical association asked me to do, because I heard somebody's been beating the surgeons' asses. Somebody in the association been fighting all these damn surgeons, and they don't realize they get in trouble for that. And then y'all get mad. Well, why they so mean to us? Well, bitch, you was rude. You tried to put one on me, girl, and I'm a surgeon, and you act like I can't just cut that shit up into motherfucking pieces, bitch. Dust. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. I thought we were taking this serious. Well, it got real clownish, real quick. Anyway, so the whole point is that you are getting to a point at which you're able to render your own ability to empathize with yourself. Okay? You are really not trying to actually even muster the ability to empathize with others, just the ability to empathize or to empatate. Okay? So the other empathize, the thighs and all the other, that actually is extra. But to imitate is actually a self-motivated thing or a self-beneficial thing. So you actually don't need to empathize with other people more than it would do to serve you. You don't need to understand the flight of others in that you can't understand yourself. You understand others to understand yourself. You understand yourself to understand others. You see what I'm saying? But you're using you, not them. Oh, well, this resonated with me. And this made me feel this way about that. And it reminded me of this. And this is something that excited me and thought I should mention it. And motivated me to mention it in this particularity. It's okay. English as a default or as a preset, more so, preset is actually not war-based. It's religious. English is actually the most religious language, but no one would ever know that because no one reads scripture. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all. That's why it was the most universalized, if y'all get it. Anyway, we'll get to that later, though. We'll get to that later, though. And there are versions of English. There is a standardized English, and there is colloquial English, okay? And there's many different variations, okay? So, and don't even get me started on the derivatives, because we had horrible, the calculus. I mean, people was ready to kill over that calculus. So we will pause the calc. We'll do some algebra and try to get that right first, and then we'll move on to calc, because some people just really cannot do calculus. Ooh. This is that time of the year. Especially for that Saturn return. I'm going through my own Saturn return too, so I'm with y'all too. You know, that Saturn stuff is real. So this is, I'm on YouTube. I'm practicing my YouTube. And ain't nobody on my YouTube that I practice, because I like to be by myself. So you might want to get you one. Or you might want to work one of them little TikTok-y things, or just sit there in front and talk, and that's all I'm doing. Literally, on his in scripture, it says, "Follow me," and that's Jesus motherfucking Christ. So, fine, I'll tell you, it was created that way. Villanova in the house. If you don't know about Villanova and Twitter, you should figure it out. It's an interesting story. So yeah, that's easy. That's war. Products of war. Prisoners of war, they call them. So anytime you're dealing with war stuff, you should, in my mind, okay, it would default. There we go, more so. It would default, not default to Yemoyan or to the watery type. If you are a prisoner of war, you definitely should not be doing war stuff. None of the father stuff. So if you use, no, that wouldn't count either. All of the father stuff usually is for whatever the father did. Not even what you think. No. Let's say your father was a carpenter. So your father's tongue would be used for carpentry. Does that make sense? If you come from a war family, you would definitely stick with Nehemiah because of other reasons we will get into later that you would find out working with him. It actually is. But there's another person you could work with too. But because of what the current circumstances are, you do not, I hate this. If y'all on my channel, she hates this. She hates this. Oshun is only one Orisha. Y'all should learn the names of the others. Please. I'm getting in trouble now. Look, I don't even like saying the bitch name. Well, okay, but I'm on my channel and I'm doing an education and I'm saying Shuni. And it's literal, I can't even get mad. See, literally, it was literally, exactly like what I just said. Okay, we all just had that moment. Exactly. Anyway, I'm talking about exactly. So. Tough titty. Harriet. Okay, come on, let's go sleep. Anyway, but yeah, girl. Learn all of it. Google it. You know, that's what we like. That y'all, oh, okay, let me figure out okay, that's this and okay, you know, but when y'all, oh, and this 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 yellow everything. Oh my God. No. I hate seeing that color, first of all. Second of all. So, but anyway, we'll get to all of that stuff later. So anyway, the whole point of that shenanigan, okay, was that or the example, more proper, is that we articulated the need for considering what language is actually for. The intention behind language and how we even try to relate to each other. Okay. Half the time, most of this is just that we can't even really comprehend what everyone is saying because everyone's talking so fast, or at that point they're just singing. That's why when singers train, I'm not a vocalist, but I'm trying to be. Okay, shout out. Come on, shout out my vocalist. Come on. My vocal. Ooh, yeah, they done did it with this one. So, but yeah, so shout out my vocalist in the room. Shout out my vocalist in the space. So yeah, just understand that vocal training is a thing. Y'all don't have to be experts at all this stuff, y'all. The advocates, the managers who manage successfully actually don't know much. They just know certain things that they don't know. It's so weird that we do it this way, but it's much better, trust me. Oh my gosh. Man. Oh my gosh. It's so hot. Okay. But yeah, I gotta go. But just understand that, like, everybody has moments of fatigue and everybody has moments where they're not so sure of the right answer. In that moment where you are not sure of the right answer, that's the right answer. That's how that works. Okay? You just have to come to a space where you're more confident about actually being successful, which is a whole scary thing for a lot of things. Okay? But yeah, so just get into the tongue. I was gonna say I can't even get mad for saying it out loud because it's literally the name of a music group. So I can just be like, oh, it's just a music group, you guys. I'm just talking about my band name. A band name. It's just a band name, so it's okay. I'm just playing, but I told her it's damn yellow. I said, girl, if y'all get some damn crystals and calm down. Whew. I get it, though. I get it. When you see everybody else talking about pixies and fairies and all this stuff, you would want to, oh, well, this is the thing that, this is like my thing. You know what I mean? But it's not your thing. It's everybody's thing. Like, literally, the fairies are also your thing. So you have to understand. You have to You have to, bae. That's what y'all not getting. You have to. Okay, ciao.